Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator, actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. What if you took DBZ and you edited all the scenes of Perfect Cell to be scenes of keiichi instead? Or what if Perfect Cell had keiichi's personality instead of Cell personality? Inside, there were actually lots of things that scared the cat. Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me. The cat was both terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could. Clatter, clatter, shiver, shiver, meow, meow. It was terrible. This cat, who are you saying it was? The cat is a cat. Meow, meow. Rika-chan still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was, without a doubt, me. Rika-chan, please tell me, the cat, what should it do now? Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat. The cat is just a cat, so it can just keep meowing and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine? That's stupid. Shouldn't it just keep meowing? Geez, Rika-chan. And I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I had already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent, but now that's enough. It can't just keep meowing. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside. The dog. That's right. It was the dog. It keeps coming to the cat and trying to get it to say that it snuck inside. After I said that, Rika-chan's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I had already noticed her eyes darkening. Rika-chan? The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned. It's all right. I'll protect the cat. Huh? I thought for a moment that I had misheard these words. So dependable they were. The cat is really scared, but it really isn't all that bad. I think all the dogs are just misunderstanding. Huh? It's not all that bad. The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. Rika-chan will do something about it. I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look all that dependable. It might be hard, but I'll do my best. Go for it, yay! She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Rika-chan said the cat can just keep meowing. She said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve? Will you really be alright, Rika-chan? If I don't do my best, then something bad could happen to the dogs, too. I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. She had been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding her or anything. However, one thing I did know was to not worry and to leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head, and smiled. I was so moved by the reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry. I'm sorry. The cat, it really was just a little bit of mischief. I didn't think any of this would. It's too much of a scaredy cat. That's why I should have never seen the storehouse. She was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look at in the first place, wasn't it? Rika-chan, what will happen to the cat? Two of the cats that snuck in, well, that night I heard Tomotaki-san and Tomotaki-san's deaths were being kept a secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it. Tomotaki and Takano? Oh, you're just coming right out and fucking saying it. Damn. I gotta start at the sudden mention of the actual names. Though it's weird to do that at this point. You should forget about them. Thip, my spine froze again. Forget? Yes. It won't do you any good to remember those two, Keiichi. The more you think about it, the scarier it will get. So you should forget about them as soon as possible. She said something so enormously terrifying without letting the smile on her face waver at all. I don't know where you heard about it from, but you should forget about everything. Make your mind as clean as a scrubbed bathtub. For forget, Rika-chan, you know, don't you? You know how those two died? No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi. Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me, so forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable, and even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me. What was that flash? What was the flash? What was the flash? What about Shion? What will happen to her? It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself asking. Rika-chan saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was going to fool her to keep anything from her at this point. The younger of the sister cats? Meow meow? Yeah? The little sister cat. Rika-chan appeared to think about this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence. The big sister cat is angry. The little sister cat did something bad, so she's really mad. The big sister cat. That can only mean Neon. I recall being questioned by her yesterday. Keiichi, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while. Not in a good mood? Those words sent a shiver through me. Neon was mad. She was mad that we entered the ritual storehouse. Let's stop having club from now on. I sometimes wonder. Team 4-Star did a really good job with Dragon Ball Z and with Ultimate Hellsing. What kind of... If, let's say hypothetically, if everyone involved in Dragon Ball Z Team 4-Star Bridged still worked together on a project together, but let's say they never worked on Hellsing. They never worked on DBZ. And instead, on the same day that they released in our timeline, the first episode of Team 4-Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged, what if instead, in this alternative timeline, they had released the first episode of Higurashi Abridged? Then again, I suppose less of the anime and stories were out by then. But let's take it a different route. What if it was A slightly half-animated show made using the visual novel, and some fan animations, based entirely off the novel. Huh? But why? I think we should leave her alone. Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Mabra, don't disobey Rika-chan right now. You know, we're only not allowed into the Furude shrine because we're not part of the Furude family, right? So how about this? What if Keiichi just marries Rika, and we adopt Shion? Or heck, I could marry Rika and marry Shion, and then everybody's now part of the Furude family. Or is there a taboo against having a Sonozaki marry or be adopted by a Furude? But that would be a way around the issue there. After all, if you're actually a Furude, then you have permission to go into the storehouse. Because, you're part of the family. Huh. This is kind of making me think a little bit about the Resident Evil 7 game. Granted, my computer would never handle a game like that again. It's definitely more new back then, and it doesn't perform as well, and it was never exactly super advanced compared to other people's computers, but this is the most advanced computer I've ever owned. But I will say this. It was probably a bit annoying for anyone watching me struggle with the puzzles in that game. And usually I'll try to avoid doing puzzle games for Let's Plays just because, not that I don't enjoy doing puzzles myself, it's just they sometimes tend to be a very slow, quiet process, and I have to imagine that's incredibly boring. Not that, the rest of videos I make aren't just incredibly boring either. But then again, I at least understand and accept I'm not entertaining to listen to. I'm just some crazy guy on the internet who talks to himself with anime pictures in front of him. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I'll leave things to her just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll be like, okay, Rika, I'll forget about everything and I'll just pretend nothing ever happened, but I don't want Shion to get hurt either. But yeah, like I said, that's the way to get around it. I can't go in there if I'm not part of the Furude family, so if I just marry Rika-chan, and actually out of everyone here, I'd say she probably has the best personality when it comes to just not expecting fucking chaos. Since Retta and Mion and Satoko fly off the fucking handle all the fucking time. This is the most emotionally stable person in this entire fucking city. And that's maybe a low bar to set, but still. This is the most emotionally, mentally stable person in this entire city. This is the most emotionally and mentally mature person in the city. This is the least psychopathic person in the city. Also, she dresses really well. Also, again, I like purple and long hair. That's cool. I'll forget about everything, about Takano-san, Tomataki-san, what I did that night. Just then, we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break. I guess we should go back to class. Keiichi? I'm going to take a drink of my 7-Up. You know what? I knew this reminded me of somebody. I think it's Numi, isn't it? Numi? The VTuber? Yeah, you look like Numi. I wonder if Numi's ever played Higurashi or watched the anime. Really haven't watched much of that VTuber. But yeah, they look the same. But like I said, purple or dark blue look really nice. And like I said, I wouldn't mind if this was a naturally occurring eye color. Though I wonder how would naturally purple eyes be when it comes to, eyesight? Would there be any change in how you see things? I know technically people with blue eyes have a little more light sensitivity. So my question is this: would people with if human beings could have naturally purple eyes, would their eyes be more sensitive to sunlight? Would they have a slightly improved a bit of night vision? Would they be able to see colors better? Be better depth perception? I don't know. Would they be able to see chemicals flowing through the air that are normally invisible to humans? Would they be able to see ultraviolet light? Obviously, I'm going a bit stupid in regards to that. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be that extreme, but we're talking about anime stuff, so why not? But I'm just saying this. I wouldn't mind if, certain hair colors like purple hair or purple eyes were naturally occurring. But yeah, I knew I had seen this design somewhere before. Numi, the VTuber. They looked exactly the same. Neat. I don't think any of the other Higurashi characters look like any actual VTubers. Yeah, I don't think Mion looks like anybody. But that's neat. You look like Numi, the VTuber. That's cool. But yeah, in general, I do like purple. I do repeatedly say purple is my favorite color. And while a lot of people know it as a color of royalty, it's also a color of empathy and compassion. And just in general, purple eyes would look nice, and so would long, flowing purple hair. Especially if it's well taken care of. As if she had noticed how miserable I was, about to leave everything to her, to flee the scene, Rika-chan called out to stop me. Am I going to get a hug? If the misunderstanding dog comes to try and bite the cat, please tell me okay. I don't have your phone number. How am I supposed to tell if Yoichi-san keeps trying to pester me? Also, I still need to tell Shion that, Oishi, well, also that I'm sorry for the previous phone call, but that he knows. But at this point, I should tell Rika-chan, hey, the dog, when he was pestering me at the library, he said he was there at the shrine too. Or did I technically say that? But anyway, I said the dog kept pestering the... Now, I'm pretty sure I already said that the dog was at the shrine. It's just the misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute sounding way, but the true meaning of those words was an eerie one. Who is the misunderstanding dog? The dog that bit the mare. Did Oishi-san? What? I don't know why it did that. If it was going to bite anyone, it would have been the trickster cat first. The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped moving. Rika-chan admitted it. The sacrifice of that terrible calamity. She admitted that if it were about to happen again, it would be Shion or I. I didn't know that was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true. I'm sorry. The cat is already scared, and I said something to scare it even more. I'm really sorry. Rika-chan bowed so quickly it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached her hand out to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking. I'm sorry. Rika-chan made a very sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out my head for her again. That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for cocktail today, so she suggested we not bother. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Ren and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remember Rika-chan's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it was always. After dinner, without energy to watch TV, I climbed into the futon bedroom and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika-chan anything and everything,